I realized that God gave me the strength to be able to do hard things, because in and of myself, I am so weak. I am so frail. And I'm not sure if there was a defining moment, because at the very beginning, when everything is so raw and new, I felt like every second was hard. Every inch of our home reminded me of the man that was now never going to walk through the front door. And having to still parent was a mixed blessing. It was hard because I didn't even know if I could show up as a mom. But yet it also helped me to get out of bed, because if I didn't have children, it really would have been easy to stay in this deep, dark place. And so they kind of forced me vertical, because I had to keep feeding them and taking care of them, all of these mom tasks. And so I think it was a very slow process from being numb in the shock of it all, and then having a very, very slow acceptance and kind of us growing together, the five of us. We were still a family, just a smaller family. And so I think it was a very, inch by inch caterpillar's pace to the healing process.
Hello, my name is Sabine Kvenberg, founder and host of Become. The content will inspire you to reach your aspirations and become the best version of yourself. I feature interviews with successful individuals from various industries, delving into their personal and professional journeys and their strategies to achieve their goals. We have to become the person we are meant to be first, so we can live the life we are destined to live. That means we must overcome challenges and work through difficult times to learn, grow, and become the new, more fabulous version of ourselves. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's get on this journey together. Welcome to another episode of Become. My guest today is Debbie Baisden. I hope I pronounce it right. So Debbie, before we start getting into some questions, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience really briefly?
Sure. Thank you. My name is Debbie. I am a proud mom of 4 teenage boys and 2 dogs. And I live in North Carolina and have 2 online fitness and nutrition businesses.
Wow, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. So you have 2 dogs. I have 2 dogs too. So tell me about Ranger, the 3-legged dog. How did that happen?
So we actually got him as a rescue from the pound. Nobody wanted him, probably because he's a pit bull mix and he only had 3 legs. When they found him, his leg was so badly broken, he had probably been hit by a car, that they were not able to save the leg. They couldn't cast it. And so we didn't realize what age he was when we got him. And so I thought, well, he won't get any bigger. And now he's much bigger. He's probably 75 pounds. I was super nervous about a 3-legged dog. He is faster than any 4-legged dog. He does stairs. He can sprint. He is just fine.
Awesome. Awesome. And, bless your heart. And thank you for rescuing that dog. I am a big supporter for the Humane Society and even here local rescues. My heart goes out to you. And I'm sure that Ranger has just the best family now with 4 teenage boys, right?
That's right. He is well loved.
Fantastic. So, Debbie, you are a fitness coach, you're a mompreneur. Has it always been your dream, or did you start out in a different field?
When I was 6 years old, I made the decision I wanted to be an elementary school teacher. I just knew. I knew very young. I didn't have to wander and explore different things. My favorite school teacher was my 4th grade teacher. And so I said, well, I'm just going to do what she did. So I went to the same college that she went to, so that I could follow in those footsteps. And so I did become a teacher. I did love it, but I did feel the need to be a stay-at-home mom once we started having kids. That was really important to me, to just be in a smaller classroom, I guess you could say.
Yes, absolutely. And what you said is just so onto the point for some people, and including myself. When we have a role model that we just really adore or we really look up to and respect, that sometimes can lead into follow their footsteps. And now I realize that I am that role model now. It started when I had my school. I had a performing arts school where I was the role model for so many children and teenagers in my life. Even though I don't have my own children, but these were my children. And it is so important to have those role models in your life. I totally get it. And now you are the role model, not just for your teenage boys, but also for your clients. And I want to go into that in a little bit. But first of all, I know every journey has its ups and downs and, has its challenges. So my question to you is, did you have a very challenging or dark time in your life where you thought, oh my God, how can I get out of it or over it or through it? But you did. And that really helped you to become your next greater self.
Yes, unfortunately, in 2012, my husband passed away unexpectedly. This was such a blindsiding moment for me of the total devastation. I can't imagine something harder. And, I have the gift of time where I can have this hindsight and look back and try to glean a lot of how there has been this transformation. And I hope some growth from that to become a more compassionate person for other people, to be able to be a source of encouragement, knowing that in those days I was definitely, in the darkness and felt very alone and just aching in my heart because I just was convinced that this would never happen to me. That happens to other people.
Yes. And, thinking back, that was 11 years ago. So you had 4 young children. I mean, when that situation happened and, unfortunately it happens, this is life. That's part of life. And, when you face this unimaginable tragedy, your beloved husband or wife or your beloved partner dies, and especially in your case, you were left with 4 children and you were a stay-at-home mom. So what went through your head in these dark times, and what was the pivotal moment that shifted everything?
It was hard when my boys at the time were 8, 7, 4, and 4. So very little people, very dependent people. And it was so challenging to have to tell them this difficult news. I felt physically handicapped that I wasn't able to utter this sentence to these little people that I loved and helped create. And yet I realized that God gave me the strength to be able to do hard things, because in and of myself, I am so weak. I am so frail. And I'm not sure if there was a defining moment, because at the very beginning, when everything is so raw and new, I felt like every second was hard. Every inch of our home reminded me of the man that was now never going to walk through the front door. And having to still parent was a mixed blessing. It was hard because I didn't even know if I could show up as a mom. But yet it also helped me to get out of bed, because if I didn't have children, it really would have been easy to stay in this deep, dark place. And so they kind of forced me vertical because I had to keep feeding them and taking care of them, all of these mom tasks. And so I think it was a very slow process from being numb in the shock of it all and then having a very, very slow acceptance and kind of us growing together, the five of us. We were still a family, just a smaller family. And so I think it was a very, I don't know, inch by inch caterpillar's pace to the healing process of just relying on God moment by moment. I couldn't think about tomorrow. That was way too heavy for me. Today was really debilitating enough.
Yes. And what you said so eloquently, it was like a caterpillar going, inch by inch. And in that moment, the caterpillar does not know what does become out of him, right? And so it just inches along and does the things that it needs to do, eat, grow, and then eventually there is a time where that all, comes to that stage, that metamorphosis stage where he dissolves and becomes that new beautiful butterfly. And so I can see the parallels in your life too, going step by step, each moment. And luckily you had your children, you had to get up out of bed. And as they say, time heals all things. It always, a loved one always will stay in our hearts, don't get me wrong, but it can heal and we can move on because that's at the end what they want. So what happened for you? So you were the stay-at-home mom. Did you had to get back to work? How did your life unfolded from there?
As I sat the four boys on our bed to tell them the worst statement I would ever have to say, telling them, I'm so sorry. Your daddy is dead. I love you. I'm here for you. I never knew this accident would happen. The very first thing my firstborn said was, what are we going to do for money? Because he knew daddy was the breadwinner and mommy was the stay at home with us person. And it had not crossed my mind. I was too focused on trying to process the reality of my husband being found dead. And I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do for money? How do I pay for all of these bills for all of our family? And I knew as weeks passed, I didn't want to go back to the classroom. I love teaching. I don't know that I like kids. I had my own kids and thought, can I really deal with 30 of them all day? I've already made my own litter. I have to do something else. And so this was this opportunity, this chrysalis opportunity of, what do I want to do with chapter 2 of my life? What does that look like? What lights a fire within me? And that took a long time to explore, to be honest. And I landed on, what is my passion? What feels easy and helps me feel like I'm thriving? And over the years, I had enjoyed learning about fitness. And so I said, I'm going to help busy moms get fit. That's what I'm going to do. And so my husband passed away in August. And then in December, I was getting my certification. So I knew I had to kind of quickly get on top of things and be a contributor to society and be able to take care of this family. And so that I would go to parks and busy moms would show up with their kids. Their kids would play on the playground and I would lead these awesome workouts. And then over time, it just transitioned. Again, this whole metamorphosis of moving online so that way I could connect with helping other women, more women, and not be limited to location. So it's been a really huge blessing that it's kind of expanded to include the food part and the sleep and the stress, all of these things. But it boils down to, I have been greatly encouraged and want to pour into other women's cups so that they just feel good. That's my whole goal. I know you're super busy. I just want to make you feel good.
Let me hop in here real quick to share something with you. Have you ever tried to build your own website, start a newsletter, or build a course and charge for it? Have you ever wanted to make money online but are totally confused by all the different systems you need to have? That's why I use Kajabi. Kajabi is the most popular system for online marketers, coaches, thought leaders, and influencers. Kajabi helps online entrepreneurs take off. Over 100,000 of us use Kajabi and have made over $4 billion. Why not be part of it? The best thing is you don't have to figure out tons of systems or crazy technology to start your online business. Kajabi helps you do all of that, and it's all on one platform. That's why I use it. It makes my life so much easier, and I can even earn money while I'm sleeping. You can build your web pages, blogs, and membership sites. You can create offers, checkout pages, and collect money. You can host your videos. You can start your newsletter list, capture emails, start your marketing funnels, all in one place. It makes it fun and easy with awesome tutorials and support. Since I've joined Kajabi from the beginning, I have a special affiliate link that I would like to share with you. A 30-day free trial. So nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Just go to my link that's in the show notes, sabinekvenberg.com/resources, and we will redirect you to the free trial page. And if you are just starting out and want to get your offer out for sale in just 3 days, let me help you do that. Visit my webpage, by the way, that I built on Kajabi, and apply to making it happen. So now let's get back to the show. I love it. And I love the fact that you said that you, at this stage, you really wanted to do something that also fills up your cup, that lights your fire, and not just doing something to bring in the income to feed the family. And oftentimes we forget that. And that then brings us into a situation that we do something we don't enjoy. And that also bleeds on to our family and friends, right? So I love that you did it. And on top of that, you were not afraid. You just said, okay, I'm just going to do it and see what comes out of it. I know we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are listening to this podcast, and many of them just starting out. And that is always the most challenging part, starting out. And the first thing that you did was getting your certification. Now, okay, you have the certification, and many people have certifications or they are so capable, but there is a gap between that and actually getting clients. So how did you do it? Did you actively go to the parks and say, hey, do you want to participate? Did you offer something for free? Did you hand out flyers? So what did you do to start your business?
I am really grateful for social media. I simply at that time only had a Facebook account. There was no website. There was no YouTube. There was no Instagram. It was all I could put together because it was with trepidation. I didn't know if anybody would be interested. I didn't know if anybody would show up, but I would say, hey, your first workout is free. It's only a few minutes. Bring your kids. I will bring all the equipment. I would load up about 1,000 pounds of dumbbells in the back of my minivan and say, I've done everything. All you have to do is bring your body. So I tried to make it as convenient as possible because you're asking people to do work. And so that took a little bit of coaxing, but it was really incredible how quickly women in the community responded and said, this is what I need. I love the group dynamic. Friendships were formed where people are still friends today. So it was a nice way for women to connect for just a few minutes. And some of them would scurry off at the end and have to go to work. So it was really such a special time. And it was a good turnout. I was very encouraged and excited. It did fill my cup.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think this is such a great piece of advice that you gave. You started in your community. And sometimes we overlook that, even in today's world. And even for you, I mean, you were on Facebook, right? But the thing is, building a community first. That is number one. Number two, you gave something away for free so people can take a sneak peek who you are and what you do. And if they like it, then they would come back. And that is sometimes overlooked as well. Let people taste what it is that they are getting. And of course, sometimes it can be really tasting if food is involved, but the taste of you and who you are, if they are connecting with you, and then you can serve them more. And then they're happy to contribute to your life, to exchange value for money, money for value, right? So I love that. So these are two great tips for everybody who just thinks about shifting. So you started out doing this in parks. So when did you decide to transition to go online?
Well, at the time when I first started the certification and the park workouts, I simultaneously was with one of my sweet friends creating an online business called Momsanity, because all moms are crazy. And so we started in the online space to base our business on faith, fitness, motherhood, and nutrition. And so we started an online community. So it was almost a nice way to see, what is it like in the online space to have clients all over the country in this one space on Facebook, and to bring encouragement to them. Like, let's take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our family. So that kind of taught me a lot, because I was not tech savvy. This was a very different experience, learning to film workouts and download them and upload them and convert them, all of these steps. But I loved the challenge outside of my comfort zone. And so because that was such a raging success with the group workouts at the park, I thought, I can help more people at any time they want, because so many women said, I wish I could come to your workouts, but I have X, Y, and Z obligations. And so I can't ever be there. And I thought, I want to be on demand. How can I be on demand where you can work out with me on any part of the world at any time of day that's convenient for you? So I think it was able to elevate my availability to other people. You can kind of have access to my stuff 24 hours a day. And again, I can help more people. So it was kind of a slow transition, and again, kind of scary, but worth it.
Right. And here's the thing. It is scary when we start something new, when we have to learn something new that we have never done before. And too often people give up at that stage. And when you do this, you are stopping yourself from growing. So we do have to tackle the challenges. We have to jump through the fire. We have to overcome our fear and do it. Right? And we don't have to be great to start, but we have to start to become great. And so that is another golden nugget here that people can take away, that, everything is possible when you make a commitment and just doing it. And that's fantastic. So if people want to get a hold of you and want to learn more, how can they do that?
I've got 3 different options, and I would absolutely love to connect. That would really bring me so much joy. One of them is through Momsanity, because again, moms are crazy, and that's mymomsanity.com. If you'd like to connect with me on my Fit with Deb, that's fitwithdeb.com. And then here's a super long website where I blog about faith and grief, and that's debbiewilkinsbaisden.com. So I would love that.
Wonderful. Yes, I will put it, and people can see it in the show notes as well. Oh, that was such a great conversation, Debbie. And I love all the little nuggets and tips that you gave throughout our conversation that I think many can take and apply to their lives right now, no matter where they are. And if someone is going through a challenge right now, I mean, how much harder can it be than losing a loved one and all of a sudden have to take care of 4 children on your own and getting through it. And most importantly, finding the passion that you have helping and serving others. And with your faith, you were able to do it all. So thank you so much, and all the best for you in the future.
Thank you so much. What a privilege to be here.
That was my interview. And if you enjoyed it, give us a 5-star review, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. Thanks for listening. Until I see you again, always remember, serve from the heart, follow your passion, and live the life you imagine.